good thing you didn't. I'm glad you didn't see the chain of events that led to um, me getting this stream going. I'm just checking something. Sorry if I keep hitting. Okay, there we go. I, I'm gonna be on a live show in probably what is it? A week and a couple days. It'll be on. No, a week and a day. So it'll be on the 22nd, right? 22nd. Wait, do I have that wrong? 22nd. I might have that wrong. Hold on, I can tell you. Where's my cell phone? Jeez. I'm a mess. Hold on, I gotta go find it. Wait, did I put it right there? Well, luckily this thing can work, so you can hear me as I'm walking, which is really just, oh, there it is. This is just such a train wreck in some ways. But anyway, I'm going to be on this live show. It's got to, I thought it was, well, whatever. It's going to be in a week and a day. Give me a second. I'm just looking at something. Well, that's not bad looking. It's really not. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to be on this live show, and it's going to require video. So I figured, okay, I have this wireless mic, and it has a little lav thing, a little clip. So I figured, okay, well, you know what? I should probably practice wearing it, with the wire inside the shirt, because I figured, hold on a minute, I'm looking for, didn't I just get a message on this? Okay, here it is. Yeah, so that day is, sorry, I'm so bad with dates. I'm so bad. Oh yeah, it is, 22nd. God, I mean, I can't even add. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I'm going to be on the show, and it's going to be video. And I figured, okay, well, I have a lav mic, and what I can do is because with a lav mic, normally when I do this stream, like I do these streams, I just clip it to the outside of my shirt, because I really don't care what it looks like, because nobody can see it but me. So it's fine. So I really don't care. Right? But if I'm going to be on a live show with video, I figure, well, the lav mic has the ability to clip on the kind of inside of the collar. So if I'm going to be on video anyway, which is a rarity enough, and it's not like I'm the prettiest guy in the world, so I can use whatever little tools I can to spice it up, I figured I'll put the lav mic inside the shirt. But the placement is a lot different, because when I have it on when I'm doing these streams normally, I just clip it to the front of my shirt, because who cares? Nobody but me could see it, so it's not a big deal. But it's placed differently, because when you clip it to the front, I just point the mic kind of straight up. It's easy because it's angled in a way where that's not a big deal. And if you're wearing a button-down shirt, it's very easy too, because lav mics are kind of made to clip horizontally, so that the clip is going east-west, and that makes the mic point to north, or north-south, whatever. Usually north. I don't know why you would point a mic south unless you were, I don't know, miking your stomach sounds. But in any event, I'd never actually tried running it inside the shirt. So I started to do that, and I thought maybe I had the angle of the clip wrong, so I took because the little clip that the actual microphone is just a little microphone on a wire. So I take the clip off, and I'm messing with it, and I thought this was, I do this in 2 seconds, it's not going to be any big deal. I mean, I was fighting to that thing right up until, not fighting with it, but I had to re-clip it on because I did it wrong. It was just a comedy of errors that, if I had recorded it, would have made me look so monumentally stupid. Not that I sound like a genius telling you about it right now, but it would have looked worse than my recounting the story. So just incredible how dumb I can be sometimes. So anyway, I've now tweeted and posted and whatevered. This is a Wednesday night stream. Boy, I'll tell you something else. Right now it's beautiful here. Weather report, because you're coming for the weather report. It is absolutely magnificent right now. I am streaming right. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I hit the live button. Absolutely magnificent right now. It is probably 80 degrees, and it's only going to go down now because the sun's going down. But oh man, is it nice right now. So, whoa, go back. I'm going to have to re-mirror my iPad. I just realized that, because I think it went to sleep. I almost remembered. I forgot to tell it not to go to sleep. So anyway, I went outside just now because I was taking my dog out. so that she could use the facilities before I started streaming. I don't want her to sit there and have to go to the bathroom. And there was somebody that was cooking some kind of meat. It seemed like maybe a burger. And I'm waiting because my wife goes on Wednesdays. She goes to the gym right after work, so she's going to be a little bit later. And so I wait because I like to eat with her. And so I'm a little bit hungry already. And then I smelled this. Maybe it's hamburgers, maybe it's steak. I don't know what. But I smelled it, and the power of the hunger that jumped into my mouth and stomach was something to be reckoned with. I got so hungry. But I'm fine now. Came inside. Oh, man. There are certain cooking smells, even though I don't really eat meat much anymore, because my wife's a vegetarian. And so I have largely become a vegetarian. I don't really miss it, but there are times where you just smell certain things cooking. And whether you eat them or not anymore, there is that just kind of primal response. So it was a difficult few minutes where I was like, come on, do your business so I can go inside, because otherwise I'm just going to start eating the bark off the trees because I'm starving right this second. But it passes, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, that was an interesting moment there. So what are we going to do here? What are we going to do? I think I had said that I wanted to do a, what's the word for it? A squiggle drawing on the next stream. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's create this as a simple, we'll make it just a 12 by 12. How many layers does that give me? I'm about to, let me do my little pre-roll. Sorry about that. I'm completely thrown off by the fact that I was messing with this mic for so long. It's just so stupid too. Let's just take a look. Oh, that's running in the background. I can very quickly just look at canvas information here. Oh, 140 layers. I think that's going to be plenty. Now I might have to re-mirror my thing here, so you might not see anything for a second. Let's see. Oh, no, there it is. Good, good, good. All right, so here's our blank canvas. So let's go ahead and we'll grab a brush. Okay, a smaller brush. Oh, and of course, it was there for a second and then it disappeared. Ain't that the way? So hold on a minute. Let's let this thing re-mirror, because for whatever reason, it's... Oh, maybe it's because I have Firefox open. Let me close Firefox. I really don't need that to be open right now. So it is possible that that was part of it. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's grab a smaller brush. Okay, well, that's now too small, so let's make this 3. Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. Oh, because I had paint, not ink. That's right. Or wait, is that the taper pen? No, it's the regular pen. So let's move that to 5. Off to a very organized start. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and create our squiggle. Now I'm going to try to stay on I'm going to close my eyes to do this so that I don't subconsciously create something. And I will try not to go off the border too much. I mean, if I do, I can probably work it in. So, okay, here we go. Let me just... All right, I'm going to close my eyes and just start moving the pen around. See what I got. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. It doesn't have to take up the whole thing. At least I didn't go off the screen, so that's good. So, all right. Let's go ahead. And I'm going to do this the way I want to do it. So, interesting. What do we want to do here? What do we want to do here? Got some interesting shapes already. So let's see. We're going to do this very loosely, where I'm actually going to let's take a pencil, and let's just kind of sketch out some basic ideas. This is completely free form, no pre-planned anything, just seeing what I like. I like this shape right here. Actually, it's hard to see that. Let's knock that into a blue color, and let's fade that out a little more. There we go. That's good. All right, so I kind of like this shape here. That already has kind of a... I like this shape. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with these, but I kind of like these two shapes already. This shape kind of already has like a facial or a skull thing. So let's just go with... Let's just start with something like this. So off of here, let's see. Let's make this some kind of... I don't know if alien would be the right word, but some kind of creature. Something like this. I don't know, do I want to have, like, teeth? I don't know. Not sure on that part yet. So let's see. So this will swirl back. Kind of like the idea of this thing kind of coiling almost like a snake. So if we bring this into that, maybe? No, that's too compact. Maybe not. Maybe the coil is the wrong way to go. maybe what I want to do is have this come around like some kind of fin or a wing of some kind, where there's kind of something coming off of this, or maybe more of a tubular shape, something like that. I still like that shape, so maybe we have this curving in, so it's still got kind of a, oh yeah, no, this could actually be some kind of like bird-like thing, because if we do this as feathers too, yeah, that makes it into some kind of weird little portly bird thing. But then do I want to have a beak, or do I want... No, it doesn't need to have a beak. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to conform to terrestrial ideas. And this can be some kind of almost like a tail or something sticking up here. Okay, yeah, so we're kind of going with a feathery birdie thing here with, I don't know, some kind of, I don't know what this part's going to be. I mean, this almost looks like a little beret. Maybe, you know what? Why not? Let's make it a beret. Let's have it a weird bird that's wearing a beret. So we'll just do that. We'll fold that lip over. Let's erase. Where's my paint? Let's get rid of that, and we'll have it where it's it'll be a bird wearing a beret. Okay, you know what? Now, well, that's making it now. That's making it goofy as opposed to scary. At first, this thing was kind of going to be scary, but now if I'm going to have a beret involved, well, I think that's just taking it into the goofy realm. So we're going to make these eyes different, because now we're going to make it a goofy bird. So I still like the idea of kind of big eyes, so we'll still have that, but more of the goofy kind of thing. So instead of the sharp teeth, we'll give it kind of, I don't know, what do I want to give this thing? Because I kind of still like the idea that the teeth stick over. Okay, you know what? That's not bad. It's the sharp teeth were a little more malevolent. This is, I don't want to go too goofy, but, and that does change the nose then, because if we're going avian with this thing, I think what I want to do is have the nose more like this, and then maybe we'll do a thing like that. Yeah, maybe that'll work. And then, yeah, we'll do layers of feathers. Well, actually, hold on. So if it was, if we're going to have it fanning, we'll fan, okay. And then the same thing with this, where we're going to have some kind of layers of feathers. Yeah, something like that. And something like that. Okay, okay. And the tail, we'll figure the tail out. But I think, yeah, the tail's okay like that. And then I guess we should have some kind of, I don't know, like feathery crest here, maybe? Like some kind of thing. Which also with the beret kind of makes this, oh no. It's going to be a beatnik bird, isn't it? It is. No, this is now going to be a beatnik bird. So now I've got to have basically a mustache here over the teeth. Yeah, we're going full silly with this now, because now this is now a beatnik bird. Yeah, so we're going to have that. We're going to have a beard there. And so so that means we're also going to have some kind of medallion or something hanging here, because I don't know why. But okay, all right, yeah, we've just gone completely off the rails with this, but that's fine. This is how my brain works, so this is what we're doing. All right, let's get them eyes in. That's too thick a brush. Let's use the Tech Pen bumped up to maybe a 10. Let's see how that line looks. Nope, that's still too thick. I want to keep these lines thinner tonight. Normally I work in big, bold lines, but I'm going to do things a little differently here. So, all right, let's go ahead and, yeah. And we're going to just kind of, I'm going to be looser with this than I usually am. Usually I don't do this loose of a line, but I'm going to do that in this case. I'm just going to kind of build this up. And I'm not going to worry so much about the lines being very precise. Man, I feel like that's still too thick a line. I really do, yeah. That's too thick a line. It's too thick a line if I'm going to do this kind of thing. If I'm going to be this sketchy with it, which let's go ahead and turn that off, because I don't really need that anymore. I've got what I need now. I think this brush has to be thinner. I think we're going to go 3. Let's see what 3 looks like here. Yeah, 3 is good. Okay, so let's add a layer. We're going to drop this down, and we're going to see what we get here. Yeah, because this is kind of, I mean, I can still be a little bit precise, but I'm not going to be as precise as I typically am with this. I'm going to try to do things a little bit more loosely here. As loose as I can. I'm not really a loose artist that way. I don't like Okay, that's a terrible round eye. I can't let that go. There we go. I can do this in parts and it'll be better. I do not like how loose that was. My looseness can only go so far with this. There is still, I'm still me. I still have to have my kind of control elements, but we can mess around a little bit here and, you know, do some loose line work without planning everything out and without making it. Probably gonna do a little bit of a lid there. Let's put eyes are fun. I like eyes. I could draw eyes all day. That is something I'm amused by, and I like it. I just kind of like the idea of building eyes up and stuff like that. Now, what do I want to do with this eye? I don't want to have a big pupil, so I think I'm going to do something small. I'm going to have it kind of something like that. A little pupil there. Wow, that's a very small pupil for the size of the eye. But you know what? Kind of like it. Kind of digging it. So that's all right. All right, let's get our beret here. We'll put some folds in our beret. A little bit of dimpling. And we'll have this come over, and we'll have this join up. And there, I'm not going to worry about the fact that I got the little dimple there. That just gives a little bit of texture. And we'll have something like this, because this is going to indicate that it's folding over a bit. And we'll just put some lines there, and we'll put some, you know, some more textury lines. Not going to worry about doing too much of the line stuff yet. Let's give a little beret, whatever that is. And I guess it would have some kind of a lip. I don't mind that. So we'll just kind of give this some fold lines. We'll probably come in here and do a little bit of like shading. Actually, we can do it right now. Why are we waiting? Let's go ahead and do some shading here. Something like that, because that's where the fold is. But yes, I'm playing this as a very loose, sketchy thing. So, yeah, there we go. Should have something there, just because that's going over. Okay. All right, so let's see here. So this eye would not be completely visible from this side of the skull. So we're going to have one line going like this and joining up. And then we will have the eye itself, which we're not going to really see because this eye would be facing the other way. But the bump is, the bump's good. I don't mind the bump being there. All right, so then we'll have this come down. And this is, you don't want to have a continuous line when you're trying to indicate that there's something there. So, you break the line up a little bit and it helps. I'm not going to worry too much about being too precise because this is kind of already just a goofy image. So let's have this. Well, I don't want to have the lines being too sloppy. Let's go there for now. Okay, let's give it a little nose. Okay, we'll go ahead and fill that nose in with a nice black layer. We'll have some lines coming off of there and just line that stuff. Okay. Now we have to have our goatee. So we're just gonna, because I'm just gonna make this black. I'm not gonna go too crazy with this as far as trying to make it look too realistic. And we'll just do that because I can always come in and clean it up anyway. I mean, you're gonna see I'm gonna do that in a second. So I'm just putting the basics of the lines in there. Let's erase that. I'm not even worried about that because I can just do this. And then what we'll do is we'll just do little lines like this. And see, this will define the outside of the goatee. So that's what I mean about it doesn't really matter about the precision of those outside lines because this is going to go over it anyway. So we'll just do a little bit of that and just do some curvy lines. So what we're worried about with those V lines is just kind of an outside shape, a general guide, as opposed to really being precise. And that's the point of a drawing like this, is you're not trying to be precise. This is not meant to be a highly, obviously, I'm making some kind of alien bird creature with a goatee. I don't think precision is necessarily the order of the day on this. So let's just go ahead and block in some black here. You can leave some white things for, kind of, what do you call it, contrast, and it shows, makes it look like there's some spacing in there. So we'll go ahead and just do this on the outside parts, because filling in black with that little brush or that little pen would take a while. So rather than spend the entire stream just on the goatee being filled in, we'll just do this. Incidentally, it does show one viewer. So hello, one viewer. Hopefully my sound is not too off from me positioning the mic where I've got it. Tell me if I sound muffled. That's my biggest fear with having the microphone positioned the way it is I don't want to sound muffled. I shouldn't, but I might. So if I sound overly muffled, please let me know, and I will move the mic, because this is really just practicing for next week, but I don't have to actually keep it this way. Okay, so let's get our blacks in. The dog is giving me a look, but it is not even close to your feeding time yet, so don't give me that look. Yeah, you always want to eat early. Me too, but it doesn't always work out that way. Okay, so there's our ridiculous space bird goatee. So let's give him some teeth. And we're not going to worry too much about the teeth. We're going to just space them. Not space them so they look like buck teeth. I don't want it to be completely silly, but I want it to look more like just odd or alienish. So, you know, like still that these teeth could actually do something, but that they don't really make a lot of sense. Something like this is not supposed to make a ton of sense. I kind of like that tooth being angled like that. It's very 70s underground comics looking. Okay. And we'll do one there, and we'll have one sticking out there. There we have now some teeth on this very shocked looking creature. Looks like it's being surprised by something. Like that it sat on something very cold or very hot. I will let the viewer make the determination on which and what that is. So let's give it a little bit of a back. And now we'll come in with the wing. And let's do the curve of the wing like this, because I'm going to have those feathers. And we'll go ahead and join that there. Okay. So now for the feathers. How am I going to do these feathers? Let me think about this. Actually, before I do that, let's put a little bit of lining on the teeth here. Let's give them a little bit of definition, just so they don't look like they're hanging out with no texture or feeling or anything. So I'll just give some... That's just doing some simple lines for this. If you want to do this, you can just do that. You don't have to go crazy with this stuff. Even a little bit of line work makes them pop so that they're not just white outlines, you know, or black outlines, I guess. See? That's not much, but it's something. And let's go ahead and do some, just a little bit of shade work here. Just bolt in some lines. And that gives that pushes this eyeball socket thing, lid, a little bit back. Kind of gives the idea that there's some separation there. Some shadowing. We can do this just to give it some line work. Can do this. Do the same thing down here where let's push those lines back. Give that a little bit of an angle. We can give this a ridge if you want to suggest that there's a nose there. Get a couple lines going back there to show that the skull arches back. You can do something like this to show that there's some shadow behind the beret. Very simple cross-hatching. Not even cross-hatching, just shadow lines. Cross-hatching again would be something like this, which I just don't generally do that type of thing. It doesn't look bad or anything. It's just not, well, it's just not my style. So let's take that stuff out because that's just not really what I do. So rather than pretend, but you could do that. If you want to do that, you can. All right, let's give the beret a little bit of kind of like clothiness by doing these kind of broad lines, a little bit of curve to them. Okay, so now let's do, let's draw a little medallion here. Because for whatever reason, this bird's going to have a medallion. I'm not even going to make it a circle. I'm not going to get that specific with it. I mean, we could just go full hippie beatnik with this, I guess. And we can make it into a peace symbol. I don't know why I'm making this as a peacenik bird. But I am. I'm trying to remember. The peace symbol is the 3, right? I was never big into the peace symbol when I was never a hippie, so... Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, it's a little peace symbol. Or Peace Walker, if you play Metal Gear Solid. And, yeah, let's give it a chain. Let's give it a little bit of a little beaded chain here. Lots of little beads here. Making sure my thing didn't just turn off. I thought I saw it flicker off. Well, I guess I'm going to have to make the neckline go back further because this chain's got to go somewhere. So we'll extend that, and we'll have the chain going there. Okay, and then we'll do this. Okay. And we'll have that going there. And there's our beatnik chain. Let's go ahead and put in some fur. Or, you know, I guess, yeah, do birds have fur? Boy, I sound like a complete idiot asking that question. I know there are birds that have tufts of fur. Of course they do. What am I talking about? I know there are birds that have fur. This one's only going to have a little bit of fur. Obviously, I got to keep the neckline going because the fur's got to come from there. Okay. So we'll do some fur here. I'm not going to, again, I'm not doing anything too precise here. This is more of just, this is the fun of doing these drawings is, number one, I had no idea what the shape was going to be. And I had no idea it was going to develop into this. That's what makes these so fun. I think, anyways. It really does give you an excuse to just kind of stretch your imagination into whatever you want it to be and not to worry too much about what it is or what, you know, what it... Because without knowing the shape, you know, you have to think creatively. You have to kind of just come up with something in your head. And why this shape came up with, okay, I mean, it's not like I've been drawing beatnik birds. I don't think I've ever drawn one before in my life before now. But here we are. So it did that. It got that out of me. So that's now a first. I can say, hey, I drew a beatnik bird. You know? So that's the real value of doing these types of drawings, is it does create your... So now it's, you know, now at some point I might think about this drawing and go, well, you know, what would I do for an actual kind of proper beatnik bird? What would that actually look like? So at some point I may actually draw a beatnik bird, because the concept does, it's growing on me the more I'm thinking about it. Kind of a bird with a beret, you know, like reading poetry or something like that in a coffee shop somewhere. There's something to that idea. I don't have it formed yet, but there is. So this is basically shadows on the fur. I'm guessing you already figured that out, but just doing some shadowing in the fur here. So yeah, I'm very quickly figuring out, and pardon me if this makes a loud noise, that is itchy against my skin, that mic. But I will endure it because I'd rather have a nice clean appearance, because I don't do video a lot. So if I'm going to be on video, I'm going to try to look as pretty as possible. Not to the point where I'm saying I'll put on makeup or anything like that. You will not see me that dolled up, but I don't want to look like a complete slob either. Okay, so there's our fur shadowing. Whoops. And you can do things like you can put some kind of, if you want to emphasize that there's some fur going on here. Different ways to do that. You can also just have lines. You don't have to do these, but you can just do little divots. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start doing some fur or wings. What do we want to do first? Let's do the feathers here. So we're going to just do, you know, I'm going to do a new layer for this just because I want to be able to kind of mess with this a bit. Just do some fur coming off, or not fur, feathers. I'm not worrying about making, actually I don't like those. You know what we're going to do? We're doing sharp feathers. It's going to look better. Yep, we're going to do feathers like this. Not like that though. There we go. Yep. That's definitely better than the other ones. Because I don't mind it being unstructured, but it still has to look like something that I don't hate. And those rounded feathers, they weren't doing it. They simply were not going to do it. So we'll go with these kind of more angled feathers. And we'll have that join in right there. Oh yeah, that's definitely better. And then we'll do a second layer of them. And of course you want them to be intersecting but not in the same place. You want them to be between. So we'll just do the... Jeez, you know what? It's the angle of the pen. It's the angle of the pen that's throwing me off. Yep, there we go. I mean, the tips can be a little rounded, but I don't want them to be sausage fingers, you know? I want them to still have some sharpness to them. Right. Okay. Just something. Okay. All right. I know it's a little chaotic at the moment. That's just how it's going to be. And we'll do some... Oops, that's an eraser. Let's do some nice, long, sloping feathers for the next layer. It's kind of coming out. And just going all over the place. Ugh, not that, though. I don't know why I can't get my... You know what? It's just... I guess I have to just hold it this way. Because I just cannot get the long angles to go right. Doing it that way. See, this is where on my drawing board, and you can't see what I'm doing, really. But I would always be moving the actual paper around. I'd always be flipping the paper upside down, moving it around, because exactly stuff like this. But on the paper, I wouldn't be able to fix those kind of rounded things. That's why digital is really so appealing to me, is because I can fix these mistakes. Now, like I've said, it's not bad to make mistakes. You can do it. But it's also kind of nice to be able to fix them if you don't want them. So, okay. So, we'll do one more big layer, I think, of feathers. Really kind of big feathers this time, though. Okay, not bigger than that. Let's do a nice big... There we go. You know why? I know why that one did that. Because I got to come backwards. For this size stuff, I got to come backwards with my pen stroke. That's what it is. Now, this is obviously very chaotic. If I was doing this for real, I would be cleaning each of these lines up as I'm going. So, because right now it looks very jumbled. So what I would do is something like this and come in. Not with that eraser, though. But with something like this and just fade this back. And then just erase this stuff. Erase it wherever I don't want it. So I'll do that just so you can see what I'm talking about. And obviously, if you're doing this with pen and ink, you're not going to be able to do this. So you might want to be able to plan a little bit better. But if you're doing it digitally, you have this option. So that's a reason. I was just talking to somebody earlier today in one of the Discords that I'm in who just got a new tablet. And was dreading setting it up. And I said, no, that's the fun part. I love a brand new device. A device that really doesn't have anything on it, because you really just get to mold it into what you want it to be, because eventually it's going to have stuff on it. And eventually you're going to get lazy, most people will anyway, about keeping it all organized and making sure you don't have any junk on it. So those first few days you have a new device, they're the best, because you're just kind of getting used to it. You're having a good time with it. And it's a clean install, and it's great. I love a fresh device. Love it. But not everyone shares my enthusiasm for it. I understand. Now we'll go to the big thing here, because we're just going to do this. Because otherwise it's going to take forever. And I don't want to make this entire stream about erasing lines, but I'll just show you here. I'm not going to worry about going over a little bit. Not going to worry about it. A little bit over is fine. Okay, I'll just run this up and not worry about it too much. What is that intersecting line there for? Well, that's fine. Who cares? It's all right. Not going to worry about it. All right, let's get that. So there you see that's now much cleaner because, got rid of the other lines. So now comes the extra tricky bit, because now I got to actually drop both of those down and then try to erase this line. So this is what I mean. This can get involved. Oops, wrong layer. This layer. So do that. God, I can't even tell where some of this stuff is. That's how bad this can get. So if I was doing this for, like an actual commissioned work or something, I'd be doing it much differently than this. This would not be the way I would be doing these drawings. But for a fun stream drawing, it's perfectly okay. And I'm not even going to worry about being too precise. Just trying to get it so it's not so visually busy that you can't tell where things are supposed to be. So these are very broad stroke erasures. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to spend too much time on it so that we can jump into the rest of the image. So we'll do that, and we'll do that, and we'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of that. A little bit of that, and this. It was right before I started streaming. Or a little bit before, not right before. I was watching the trailer for the new Quantum Leap show that's going to be coming out in, I think, a few weeks or something. Pretty sure a few weeks. Which is it's kind of unclear on if it's a reboot or a continuation. They've used the word reboot, but I've also seen continuation, so I don't really know. But anyway, following up on the old NBC show, old being a relative term from the 80s, which I quite enjoy. Trailer looks interesting. Looks like it's got some potential. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. I do not want to see a crappy new version of a show that I actually like. I'd rather see a good new version. Okay, you know what we're going to do here? We're going to make this simpler than how I've got it. We're going to drop that. There we go. Because again, this is not a drawing that I have to really worry about. Now we're going to go ahead and get the paint for this. Because I think this one I can really erase a lot of. Like that, like that, like that. And that, and that, and this, and this. All that. Okay, now we'll switch to the smaller one. Let's clean it up a little, but you'll see what I mean about the... I mean, you've already been kind of seeing it as I've been doing this, but just where you're getting rid of... Oh, not that much, though. No, there we go. Not going to worry about that line being missing. That's okay. We're not after perfection here, obviously. If you've turned into this stream and you're expecting perfection, you have mistuned. Or misdirected, or I don't know. What do you say? You don't say tuned in anymore because it doesn't make sense with the internet. Yeah, you've been misdirected. I think that's kind of a good catch-all. Refers to being directed to a website and the misdirection of being at the wrong stream if you're looking for somebody who's perfect at what they're doing. You will not find that here. There we go. Now if I turn those lines off for a minute. You see what I mean? There's layers there. I mean, it's not perfect, obviously, because I'm doing this fast. This is not meant to be a perfection stream, but it's there. Let's go ahead and do that big back feather thing. So we're going to try... Oh, I saw it that time. I'm going to try to do this all in one shot. We're going to see how this goes. I don't know if it's going to work. I'll give it a try, and we'll see how it goes. Unable to connect. What are you talking about? Oh, I know what it's doing. Hold on. Bear with me a minute. It looks like the reflector actually stopped working for a second. So let me quit reflector really quick. Sorry. This happened one other time. Reflector quit on me. Which I just don't understand. I know I'm a broken record. I've said this probably, if not every stream, then certainly every other. I don't get why this program nails the CPU to the wall. I just do not get it. Either there's a setting I'm missing or something. And I don't know which it is. But, okay. Let's do that. All right. And in a second, you should see the screen again. Come on, screen. There we go. All right. So let's see. Let's try to do this in one. Here we go. So we'll just do this as a... I'm going to be quiet while I do this, just so I can concentrate a little bit. So I'm sorry. Because doing this... I screwed that one up. It's the angle. No, it's the angle. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Not in one. The angle's not right. I'm trying to bend my hand to do something it really doesn't want to be doing. So we're just going to go ahead and do this in two parts. That's okay. It's not a big deal, but I just knew that wasn't going to happen. That was not going to happen that way. Whereas this, I'm a little bit better on because the angle is more favorable towards my hand. I'll say that in a second when I'm done. There we go. And we'll go ahead and just join this little line here. There we go. Let's just do that, and we'll make that look a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Yeah, much better than having that, than the other way I was doing it. Just wasn't working that way. Because just wasn't. And then we'll do a little bit of a kind of a curviness there to indicate the tail bone or feather bone or whatever bone that would be that contains the, you know, the tail thing like that. And then we will do our other wing over here. Let's go ahead and throw another layer for that. And this one we're going to do like this. So we're just going to do that and that. I'm going to try to kind of follow that line right there. That's what I should have done on the other wing, was create guidelines. See how much smoother that was than that over there? Is because I have guidelines here. That really helps. I should have just done that. Why did I not do that the first time? Actually, you know what? Hold on a minute. Sorry. I just realized that I want these feathers to come up into the other ones so that they look like they are emerging from inside. Yeah. See, with the guidelines there, this is much easier. Why did I not think of that first? 'Cause I'm a dummy and I didn't think about it. All right, let's do our last layer of feathers here. Because I kind of like the sweeping feather thing. Yeah, and we don't really worry about these so much tip-wise because they're behind the belly of the bird anyway. All right, so yeah, I mean, those look so much better than the other wing that I don't know what I was thinking there, or why I didn't think about doing the guidelines. Because I think, did I do that wing first or second? I don't even remember now. Maybe I did it first, and that's why I didn't do them. And then in the second one, I did it. I think I did do this one second. Yeah, I think I had the other wing first, so it just didn't occur to me the first time. But should have. Guidelines really help everything. You know, I mean, if you want to completely wing it, you absolutely can. Haha, wing it. That was not an intentional. I promise that was really not an intentional pun. It really wasn't. But it happened. So what are you going to do? But if you wanted to, you could. But you could also just do what I just did here and use guidelines, and it's fine. As I always say, or as I shouldn't say. Yeah, no, I have been saying it the whole time. You do whatever you want. It's your drawing. There is no, short of copying somebody else's work wholesale, there is no such thing as doing bad artwork. You do the work that you want to do, how you want to do it. It's perfectly fine. Okay, let's give him a nice rounded feathery belly here. Whoop. Did that go in far enough in? I think it did, yeah. Okay, there we go. So since that's behind the wing there, we'll go ahead and chop that, because you wouldn't actually see that. Okay, and then on this, we're going to go ahead and merge that down, and we'll merge this down. And then we'll take out the parts of the feather that would be behind the stomach, because you wouldn't see those either. So we just do this. And again, this is just creating some depth. Just creating that separation of the space. So you see now the feathers are going behind. And then if you want, you can do stuff like, if you want to show that these feathers are kind of under the other ones, you can do things like this, where you just have a little bit of shadow behind. And that indicates that those feathers are coming from behind. So you see that automatically creates a little bit of shadow. And then you could do the same thing for these down here. And you'd want those shadows to go a little bit further, because obviously those feathers are bigger. So you see, you do something like that. There you get your shadows there. And then for the thing here, you can just do a little bit of line work there to indicate that that's a round part. You can just do some random lines in there just to show that it's not a... Again, you're really just trying to avoid the idea that this is a big empty space and just kind of create a little bit of motion, and you can go detailed if you want. You can do very, very nice shadowing like this, where you're putting, oh, I shouldn't say nice, but you can do more detailed shadowing, or you can just do simple stuff. You don't have to have shadows. So something like this, you can do kind of a, what I like to call a well shadow, where it's going into this deeper area and it's creating a little bit of a well or a pocket of darkness that comes out. And that indicates that there's something back there. So that's all. Something like that. And then more of that down here. And again, you can do as much or as little as you want. It really doesn't matter. And you also don't have to, you could go out to the feathers like this. You don't have to do that. Sometimes it's nice to have some of the stuff you can see be in shadow like that. Just so it's, again, it just creates a little bit of a different plane to it. So if we do something like that, and then we can have it end there. Do a little bit there, and see that kind of gives you that little bit. So like this feather, I would probably want to have filled in with some hatching. Say hatching and not cross hatching, because they're not going across. Have that join in here. Have this come down. A little bit of that. Okay. Have this come up. You could do some of the stuff on the other feathers if you wanted to. You don't have to. You could put a little bump there. You could have a little line coming up there. This is a weird looking bird, I gotta tell you. This is a weird looking bird. I mean, I don't even know where my brain is with this thing. But, par for the course, I guess. And that's all right. You know what? Don't be afraid to be weird. If you just draw still lives and apples all day, that's perfectly fine, and you'll have people who like them. But you're going to find that a lot of people draw still lives of apples and stuff. How many people you know are drawing Beatnik Birds tonight? Probably not too many. I'm not going to say none. I'm not going to say none. I have no problem believing that somewhere else on the planet, somebody else came to this same bizarre conclusion. Because we are all different, but there is some kind of confluence of weird brainness that happens, where people think weirdly together somehow. It's like maybe I'm sending that cosmic energy out. I'm getting very, very new age now. The hippiness is infecting me with kind of new age vibes, man, where maybe the universe is being influenced by the fact that I'm drawing this bongo banging, peace sign wearing alien bird thing, man. And it's jiving out to the universe and creating a Miles Davis kind of echo effect of raw creativity and weirdness. Who knows, baby? Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. So I've been told. Never met him. Yep. That's a tangent that's going to make me seem like a complete psychotic when people watch it. What else is new? Like I said, don't be afraid to be strange. It's not bad. Not a bad place to be. This will take me forever and destroy my hand. Holy crap. You know, maybe the more I'm doing this, the more I'm kind of liking this thing. I don't know what this thing is. But now, and this is actually, you know what? Here, this is a perfect place to end this. Because this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is honestly, this is the value of doing something like this, right? This thing started out as this just random. I had my eyes closed, squiggle. No form, no thought outside of whatever was going on in my brain when I did it. But this is what came out from the pen, which became this, right? And that has now become this. And looking at this, I kind of like it now. I kind of like this. Now I actually want to take this idea and the same basic sketch, and I actually want to do a refined version of it. So I'm probably now going to, incredibly, as nuts as it is, I think I'm going to try to make this into something. This is going to, I mean, it's going to look pretty much like this, but I'm going to try to make a more finished piece of this monstrosity, whatever it is. In fact, I want to center it because, yeah, now I kind of want to do something with this. And it's just nuts that I would even do something with this. But now I kind of want to. So that's what I'm saying, is that there is a value to this exercise outside of the raw kind of just fun of it. Is sometimes you end up with something. I mean, it may not look exactly like this. I probably will get rid of that mustache thing. But there's something about this weird, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe I'll add it smoking a pipe, something. Or I'll put bongo drums. I'll probably put bongo drums in this. But this is completely spontaneous, out of nowhere type of thing that I don't know where it came from, and I don't know why. But now I'm really glad I did this weird Beatnik Bird thing, because now I'm pretty sure I'm going to do this weird Beatnik Bird thing as a drawing. So this is why I'm such an advocate of the squiggle drawing thing. Even if this had been a complete disaster, it still would have been fun to do. I mean, even if I didn't like this, which this thing is growing on me like a strange pet. Even if I hadn't liked it, it still would have been valuable just to do the mind exercise, just as something fun. But now I actually kind of like this thing. And I feel like I'm going to do something with this thing now. And I don't know what it's going to look like in the end, but it's probably going to be pretty close to this. I think I want to do the feathers a little better. But I like the general vibe of this thing right now. Which is freaking bizarre, but whatever it is. So on that note, I'm going to stop here before I ruin it. And I'm actually overjoyed. I'm going to be actually posting this on Twitter shortly, because it's insane that this is the thing I just made. But anyway, that's why you should do squiggle drawings, because you just don't know where they're going to lead. Even if they lead nowhere, they've led somewhere. Wow, that's fortune cookie wisdom right there. But it's true, though. Even if this had been a complete non-anything as a final result, the exercise would have been fun, the experience would have been fun, it's a creative output, but instead, I now have some kind of weird Beatnik Bird that I'm going to attempt to make into something. So on that note, have a wonderful rest of your whatever it is where you are, and I'll see you on the next stream. Beatnik Bird, I'm digging it. All right, bye everybody.